back to the podcast with your host, Samantha. I am flying solo today. Alexa was not able to make it, but today we're joined by a true visionary, an international speaker, best-selling author, and business success strategist whose mission is to inspire, elevate, and empower. He's the founder of the #1 Speaking and Leadership Academy, Inspired to Speak, the creator of Limitless TV, and the heart behind the nonprofit Artie, Always, and Amazing, supporting children, veterans, and seniors. He's not just a man of impact, he's a Knight of the Royal and Sovereign House, and he serves as a United States Grand Prior General. Please welcome the legend in leadership, communication, and transformation, Sir Dr. James Dentley.
Hello, how are you?
Great. How are you today?
I am fantastic. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I know we've been talking about doing this podcast episode for a while, so really excited to dive in and ask you so many questions. You're really successful, and I've met you quite a few times, and you're just such an inspiring man.
Congratulations to you and Alexa. I mean, great job. A lot of your life on this podcast is really touching lives and impacting people in a way that can help them achieve the breakthroughs that they look for in their life and reaffirm their greatness. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. That means so much. Let's dive in. What is the one thing keeping most people back from the success they say they want and they don't even know it?
Well, because we're saddled with our environment. What you live, you learn. What you learn, you practice. And what you practice, you become. We are what we think about the most. And, the way we were raised, where we were raised, I've had the fortune to live in different parts of this country and travel all over the world. And I find that even though we have wonderful people everywhere and everybody kind of wants the same things, but the information that you're getting is coming from one source. And not to say that it's wrong, it's just not expanded. So I believe that when we're limited by the information and we take that as being our truth, our paradigm shift is anchored there. And even when a person falls off and things go wrong, you don't hit rock bottom, you hit rock foundation. So it's really about the foundation, proximity, and the things that you're learning and that you're accepting as being your truth in this world.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The people you surround yourself with are the most important, and it's really who you listen to. At the end of the day, it does have to do so much with environment and, the ideas and the people and the information you're taking in. You've built an empire using your voice. I've seen you speak so many times. What do you think the secret to speaking is in a way that makes people stop scrolling and start listening to you?
Well, I actually, Samantha, teach the psychology of communication. So it's not one secret, but if I were to give you the foundation, is to really be fully self-expressed. When I speak, and even when I train speakers and some world-class speakers all over the world in corporate America, or they want to be professional or they just want to impact and get their story out, I find that, when you're on that stage or you're in front of that room or you're in that boardroom, you always remember that you're not the star. You are the director and the audience is the star. And if you take that viewpoint, then you only have one goal, is to help that person who's listening to get their Oscar. If they're ready to go to work, they can get their Oscar, and then you really have done your job.
Yeah, that was beautifully said. And I think it takes the pressure off yourself. And I remember one of my mentors telling me that before I started going on stage and speaking. And it's really not about you, it's the value that you're bringing to your audience. And every time I see you speak, I feel like everyone rushes into the room to hear what you have to say because you've mastered the psychology of speaking and you just touch everyone in your audience and you just provide so much value. If you ever get to check out James Dentley speaking, you are definitely in for a real treat. So,
Yeah.
kind of pivoting a little bit, you've built and helped people build multi-million-dollar brands. So, what do you think is the one mistake you see entrepreneurs make that's silently killing their growth?
They have to invest in themselves. Even myself, I continuously invest in myself to become better. We live in an age where things are moving so rapidly, and life itself is like walking up an escalator, Samantha, that's coming down. And either you keep taking a step up, or by default, you lose ground. And it doesn't have to be taxing. It really is exciting and promising because it's always good when you become good and you know you're getting better and better and better. And not that it goes to your head, but it goes in your heart where you're coming from a very authentic place where you can be free. Even if you make mistakes, you can be perfect inside of the imperfection. So it's really with entrepreneurs, it's really about investing in yourself with the right people and then tracking and measuring that progress and getting real great clarity on what it is you want in the first place. What is your unique value proposition? Who is that avatar? Who is the customer? Who is the person out there that is looking for you while you're looking for them looking? Because there are people out there that can only hear your voice. They can learn from your experiences, good or bad, and they're waiting for that. And even if they don't know it, they sit out there in the audience, and some people they're all dressed up, but they're dying inside. They're in pain, they hurt, or people feel like they're all alone and it's just them by themselves. It's never just you. So once you understand the power of your story, that in your life there's a great equalizer, and that is your imagination. After that, it's just work ethic and mentorship, and you'll get it done.
That's definitely great advice. I've heard the same message communicated, but by the right person that resonates with you, it changes the game. When I hear you speak and the way that you articulate things and your storytelling really is impactful in just a completely different light than when I'm listening to other speakers. For anyone listening to this, what do you think some of the real reasons why some people skyrocket their business and their life and then others might stay stuck for years?
I look at it like a crock pot. A crock pot cooks very slow, but when it's done, everything is always perfect. The
Mm,
taste is perfect, the texture is perfect. But when you're in that crock pot, based upon your experiences of your own life, that determines of the fact of the density of the meat, the main ingredient, which is yourself in that pot. And then you have to add other things to the pot. You have to add the right seasoning, mentorship. You've got to add the other ingredients, which could be relationships. You have to add in all the things that you don't want to add it, that you don't want to face, the things that you don't think they have to go in there. Because when you go in that crock pot, you're now going in as one thing, the person you've always been, but now you're now being engulfed in all these different seasons and all these different experiences and all these different ingredients, and now you're becoming something even more. And I think that's really what it's really about, to understand that some people you can't measure your success with theirs. You know, it's just the
mhm.
time. You have to, some people may be in a different industry than you are. Some people, their experiences may have them with a different thought process that you have, but your success is yours and yours alone. And the race is not given to the swift, nor to the strong, but the one who endureth to the end. So define your success in your own way. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Celebrate that. I believe that your success and making money and getting love in your life, it goes where it's invited and it stays where it's welcome. Now, what does that mean? If you invite me to your home, you prepare your home to receive guests. If you're inviting me for dinner, you're preparing a meal and you're cleaning your home and you're preparing your table with the expectation of someone arriving. The Bible even says that you are to pray as if you've already received it. So, therefore, expectation in life, you get what you expect, not what you want. Because if you're expecting something and you or your behavior is now trending into the area where that success, however you define it, will be. Tobler's law says that things that are like themselves are closer to each other than things that are not. So once you get an agreement and alignment with the things that you want, the goals that you have, the ideas and the imagination and that thing that burns inside of you that you want to create. And also remember, you're in alignment. But what happens sometimes, look at Post-it notes. These Post-it note stickers, this was a mistake. They wanted to create a glue that could never be unbound, and they made $1 billion selling scrap pieces of paper.
Wow.
Well, sometimes when you're on that journey, it will reveal itself to you. And that's what it means when they say your gift will make room for you. So you have to be aware, stay calm, long term thinking. And as you're building you, your business is building at the same time. It goes hand in hand. Keep
Mhm.
going. Nothing's personal. When things go wrong, don't go wrong with it. When it goes crazy, don't go crazy. Think about what's the next best thing. And most importantly, seek counsel from people who are already successful in that area.
I really want to highlight just staying in your own lane. And God really gave every single one of us a very unique vision. And that vision is only for you to see. I mean, when I was starting entrepreneurship and creating my business, I would talk to my friends and family about where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And a lot of times they project those limiting beliefs because it's a mirror, right? They're looking at me, but they're really looking at themselves. And if they don't think they can achieve it, then they're projecting that onto you and telling you, well, how can you even do that when they can't believe it themselves? I really think it's important to seek counsel and then just know that there's so much abundance for every single one of us in life. And it all comes down to your mindset and who you surround yourself with. But I want to talk about your streaming platform called Limitless. What do you think is the number one way someone can use their message to build a global brand from their phone
Yeah.
or from technology?
Well, you have social media and then you have media, and you need
Mhm.
both. You really do. Social media platforms now are now valued at either one up to $3 trillion. And there's a reason for that. They have everyone baked in. We wake up in the morning, we have to grab that phone. We go to the
Mhm.
I or we go to the F and we got to go and see what's going on. You go to the T, you want to find out what's happening. Okay.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, you realize that there's nothing wrong with that. That's where the people are. But how do you create a community whereas people can get value that you can give them that will save them money, time, pain, pressure, and it just shortcuts them to get what they want. Everybody wants something, and we want to be around people who are like us. The challenge with social media is that number one is algorithms, and in algorithms, you can't control that, and they can change it anytime you want. Even YouTube, as great as it is, they changed their compensation package 4 times. Most people don't even know that. The second part of it, most importantly, you have no data. So instead of likes and views, how about having names, email addresses, phone numbers, building real relationships and bringing people in? So you go to social media, and with Limitless TV, you're able to have your own channel, build yourself in a celebrity brand, be able to in there. The uniqueness of it means that our technology allows you to have your own marketplace where you can sell tickets, T-shirts, hats, promotional items, whatever it is you have back there. You can have pay-per-view streaming, elite programming if you like. We're gonna go to daily programming where your show can be at 6 p.m. every Tuesday night as well. You're advertising. You can't just do what you want in somebody else's platform. They really control that. Here, you have that autonomy to do what you want. So you want to use both of them to become findable over here and get people to come to your universe where you have the data, because that will be the valuation of your business is the data. How many people are in that community? Who are they? What do they like? Because when you have data, you already know. Put it like this, Samantha. All of us, everyone who would ever watch this, we know people, and those people spend money, and some of them are our clients. But when they leave you, and your friends leave your home, or they leave your work, your coworkers, or they leave the social settings, they leave and go spend money on something else. How do you get in front of that as a vendor or as an affiliate for somebody else and create great value because you already have a trusted relationship? So creating revenue and success financially is easy to do. It's just
Mhm.
that we make it hard and it's easier not to do.
Yeah, that's really true. And it gives people so much credibility too for being on your networks. Can you
Yeah.
expand a little bit more on that? Why that's so imperative?
Yeah. Well, we stream not only on JD3 TV, Limitless TV, but also Roku, Amazon, Apple, and Android TV as well. So you have access to over 300 million people. Now, people often ask me, Samantha, they say, well, who's going to see me? You could be on ABC or CBS, and if you don't promote your show, nobody's going to see you and they will cancel you. But here, you can only cancel yourself. The key is to promote yourself where you control the data. You have a dashboard, everything's there for you. So if you want to create a documentary, fantastic. We can help you do that, or you can bring it to the platform. We have master classes. So if you have a subject matter expert, you can put some of your training on the platform and then promote yourself in the end. We promote you as well and help you build customers. And all of our content creators work together as a family, as a unit, because they build relationships. So just imagine if Netflix, for an example, if they were to have an event to empower people, Then we have another event to empower women, another event to empower mothers with children, another event to empower young men. They have all the people. If they did that, there's another $1 billion on the table, but they don't see it. And that's not what they do. They're there for stockholders and they're sitting pat. What we've done is help you create your own community and
Mhm.
you can have a piece of the pie and even earn equity in the entire platform.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And I've, seen a few people that I know actually go on Limitless TV and their brand has just expanded exponentially. And like you said, it's also a numbers game too. How many people are you getting in front of to share your story? Because people will buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. So if you have that credibility, you're being, spread out to all these different platforms, people are really going to get to know who you are and your mission. And that therefore you're going to drive sales that way as well.
Yeah. And we provide training and master classes every other week for all the content creators. And then we allow them to share best ideas. But we also bring in people who are at the top of their game when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding. We have a lot of influencers that are with us, and you go on other platforms, they got 200 million views and they do okay, but they do a lot more over here when they own the data, and then the residual income they earn just by promoting their own show, they make 400% more money if they do it that way. So it's just a shift in the way that we think. But and there's nothing wrong with any other platform out there. Nothing wrong with it. But if you look at a company that's we have 7 people, Samantha, in this inside of 7 years, they'll all be trillionaires.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. They'll all be trillionaires. And we got people here that still dream of being a millionaire. Now, I want to share this with you really quick. In 1992, a good friend of mine named Carl Batillo, he's always been successful, always done well. He's always classy. And I had made money and lost it, made money again and lost it. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I relocated from Chicago and I'm in his home, his beautiful home. And I went to him, I said, Carl, I got a great idea. He said, what is it? I said, I'm going to make $1 million. 1992. You know what he said to me?
What?
Just
What'd he say?
one. Just one. Just one to me. Just 1 million. He's robbed me that day from thinking small. And it's not about money, it's about expression. To learn how to create, to be in a likeness and image of your creator. Beginning, God created everything that is started from what was not. It all started with a void. It's the thought, the thing, the mental, the physical, the inner, and then the outer. And I don't look at it for, looking at, okay, we're going to be $1 billion company. I believe we will. But we did it. This a form of expression because we're sharing it with the people who helped build it. In my career, I retired in 1995, January 13th. I never made money without helping other people make money. I don't know another way to do it. But I can't make a person want it. But I
Mhm.
love good at finding the people who do. And if they're coachable and teachable, there's a path. And then we grow together.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing being coachable and teachable. I find so many people think they know everything and there's so much to learn and that's what makes life so exciting. There's always so much growth to be had. And I want to go back to what you said about only 1 million. I remember when I was a teacher, I just surrounding myself in that community when I was in my young 20s. Teachers would think $100,000 a year was a lot of money. And then when I started doing network marketing, people were making that in a month. And then I met people who were making that in a day. So it has to depend on your own mindset and what you think is possible. What really helps, it's surrounding yourself by people who are doing it. If it's possible for them, then it's definitely possible for you. And you've
Yes.
helped so many people do that. I look up to you so much because you're making a massive impact. It's not even about the money anymore. It's about the amount of lives that you're changing.
Smiling because you mentioned the network marketing. I've been in that industry for 32 years and I never wanted to do it. I went kicking and screaming. And I made from May 26th of 1994 by January 13th, 1995, I've never worked a job ever again. And not only it helped over 90 people make between 1 and $20 million. Now, it's not that I'm that smart, is that I'm really good at copying people who are successful and teaching that. I don't deviate from what works. It's like baking a cake, Samantha. Once you learn how to bake a cake, it doesn't matter what kitchen you're in.
You're
The
right. Yeah.
foundational ingredients will never change. And if you're willing to adhere by that, then you can make it. It's simpler than you think. It takes some work, it takes some time. But an industry, and another thing I'll say about that industry is that it's a phenomenal industry. I've owned a company in it. I've been at the top of three different companies. I've been a master distributor, opening them up and training leadership. But the one thing I found that most people miss, the true wealth was in the relationships. I write a book and 1,000 books move in a couple of days because of the relationships. And this is something I never wanted to do, but it opened up so many possibilities for me. So, yeah, it has a lot of ways to make it happen. But in all the ways anything you get involved in, wake up every day and ask yourself, what possibility am I being? Because you get to choose. I don't have bad days. They're just days. They're all great. Some even better.
I agree with that. Yeah, you need to choose happiness. You need to wake up every single day and choose the life that you want to live. I truly believe you create your own reality. So I know you talk about this too, how words carry frequencies and energy. And it's so important to know the things that you're saying and your thoughts. I mean, your thoughts are everything.
Yeah. Starting in network marketing and then becoming a speaker all over the world and training some of the top speakers on the planet. I love that because teaching the psychology of communication not only shows you how to speak into the listening of a person, but also into the nervous system to create an experience through your story, the only life you're going to have, that you can take people on a journey within themselves that they can never go on by themselves. And if you're that guy, then you can be freed from all the things that you may be ashamed of or all the things you want to put in the dark. You bring it out into the light. You control that narrative. You control that narrative in your life every single day. And just know that if someone else can upset you, that means you're being auto directed. Things outside of you are driving you. Once you're inner directed, you can define the meaning of everything that comes your way. And everything there is a gift. Everything, every part of it, every moment is a gift.
Absolutely. I find so many people get mad about what someone said about them or traffic, but at the end of the day, it's so important to have that emotional regulation within yourself because then you get to choose how you feel, and outside circumstances don't have to dictate that. Going back to speaking, what do you think are some of the key factors that make people magnetic on stage?
Well, first of all, you're fully self-expressed, number one. And a lot of people have a natural gift. I've run into several people that are so gifted on stage, but when they hear me speak and hear me talk about that psychology, they're wowed by it. One gentleman, he's extreme, he's Johnny Wembley. He is incredible. And he called me up. He said when we met in Tennessee, he went home and told his wife, I finally found somebody who can teach me because he's automatically knows he's gifted, but he doesn't understand the psychology of what he does. These are things that can be taught to any person because most of communication, number one, is nonverbal. Number two, how do you put yourself in a mental and spiritual state where you are present, where there are no nerves, that you just now are giving of yourself and having a conversation, even if it's 20,000 people? How do you create a hypnotic rhythm where people are hypnotized and magnetized because of the rhythm of your voice? How do you use your voice like the soundtrack of a movie? What is an open loop? Why does the brain seek closure? If you ever sing a song and you don't know the word, you either skip over it or you make up a word. The next time you hear that song, your brain searches to fill the gap. That's why sequels work. And that's why it transfers so well into television, because it's all about communication in your relationships. How are you present with another human being? And just be present, let them see you. And don't
Mhm.
worry about it. You always work on getting better. And some days you'll blow it. Fix it and keep moving and keep moving. But don't beat yourself up. In communication, we teach so much psychology. We go through improv so you're not nervous. You can ebb and flow with the audience. And now it's almost like, when people used to say, you have to learn how to think outside of the box. Remember that?
Yeah.
We teach something a little different. We teach there is no box.
Ooh, I've never heard that before. I love it
There's
though.
a box. You just got to get outside. If there's no
Yeah.
box, expand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a great point, and I've seen you speak on the psychology of speaking, and I've actually used it when I go on stage now, and it definitely captivates the audience more. But I wanna switch gears. I feel like you lived 20 lives within this lifetime, right? Yeah. And so you've been knighted into the royal family as a baron and you're a business mogul. So, what's the one rule you live by that you think separates the legends from everyone else?
I don't look at it that way. If I'm talking to, like I was speaking with a young lady today, and what are you going to do that quiets all the noise so people don't perceive that you're like something that they're familiar with already? What separates you? And every person has to identify that, and you really, really can. And if you can't, one way to do it is to first of all get clarity on what is your gold medal talent. Now, a gold medal talent means there's something you do well that you don't even realize you can monetize, that people will pay you because even if you had a tough relationship and you got through it, there's some people would do anything to get through it because they're still in that hole. Even if you're a great mom and you raise some great kids, there's a platform for you now to be able to share with people the formula. If you re-engineer it, you live your life forward, you understand it backwards. How do you really do that? So your gold medal talent is identifying what you do well. Now, most of the time, you can't see that yourself because you can't see the picture if you're in the frame. You can't know about the cup if you're the coffee. But you can text 10 people, 5 people personally, personal friends and family members, 5 people in your business life. You ask them a simple question. I'm trying to identify my gold medal talent. In one word, can you tell me why do you like me? Why do you think people like me? What do I do well? What do you think I do exceptionally well in one word? And I will send that out to 10 people and I get a consensus of what they say because you see you, but other people, have you ever noticed other people can give you advice they can't follow?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they always can see you differently than you can see you. Doesn't mean they're right, but now you wanna ask for that information, and you'll get a consensus of what you do well, and if you do something well, you bring value to the marketplace. The world's about to change, Samantha, with all this technology. Uber drivers are testing driverless cars already. They got now cars that are tested in California, flying from one part of the state to the other in late at night when lower than airplanes fly, but above traffic for sure. All that these companies have gone public. This stuff is for real. Technology with AI is going to be a game changer. So now it's going to be up to your imagination. And if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of do a really quick illustration.
Yeah, absolutely.
I ask people, do me a favor, Samantha, you and everyone watching, hold your hand out like this in front of you and look at your hand and imagine you see a red apple. Let me tell me when you can see it.
Can see it.
Now turn the apple green. Let me know when it's green. Now turn it yellow. You see a yellow apple? Now cut the apple in half and look at the halves of the apple. And do you see the seeds in the apple?
Yes.
How many seeds do you see?
4.
Now you see 4 seeds. You see that. Now there's no apple in your hand, so you can't cut it in half. That means you can't see the seeds. But everything that is was created from what was not. Van Gogh said, I dreamed of my painting, then I painted my dreams. But now you can see those 4 seeds in your hand. That's where imagination begins. But what you cannot see are the apples inside of the seed.
Mm,
So whatever you think you see, the key is there's always more.
absolutely. I
Everything
love
comes
that.
from yourself.
Yeah, you're right. There's always more. I feel like you made a really good point. And at the beginning, when I asked you that question, I do feel like you are most qualified to serve the person you once were. So, like you mentioned, if someone went through a breakup and they got through it and they're in a happy relationship, there's someone that is going through that struggle right now. You are definitely most qualified to serve the person you once were. I loved
Yep.
your analogy and your story with that. For most people, they never essentially master communication. And I think that's one of the most important skill sets you could have in business and relationships and just any aspect of life. So I know you talk a lot about the psychology behind speaking. What do you think is one tip or secret that people can use to gain instant credibility or trust when they're having a conversation or they're even speaking on stage?
First of all, become fully self-expressed. And I
Mhm.
always recommend that you get through training because honestly, Samantha, no one teaches what I teach. And I'm amazed because it's been almost 30 years and nobody has picked it up or they teach a part of it because I have a 152-page syllabus and training books that go along with my class. but they don't teach that. And it's really understanding, first of all, that everything communicates. Everything in the universe communicates. If I tell you a quick story, and there's two embryos inside of a mother's womb, and they're twins, twin girls. They don't have a mouth, but they still can communicate because communication starts with vibration, and that's energy and that's frequency. Everything. That's why birds know how to get out of dodge if a storm is coming. Fish know
Hmm.
how to move even though they're underneath water. Everything, a tree that's infected will communicate with the other trees close to it to help it protect themselves from being infected as well. So, first of all, everything in the universe communicates. So, you have to learn how to be quiet, be still, go into meditation, gratitude, and get in that tranquil state where you can get clarity in your life, chill out. And
Hmm.
remember, when you're breathing in oxygen, that oxygen, before it gets into your mouth, touches everything around you. So you're a part of everything because whatever you ingest becomes a part of you. If you eat chicken, you don't become a chicken. The chicken becomes a part of you. Okay, so it becomes a part of you, whether it be in your environment, anything you ingest, and that's what you will express. So number two is that once you understand everything communicates, then learn that even when you're partnering your relationships, sometimes you could just I teach something called being with. When you get real close to a person and you just let them see you. You don't blink, you don't smirk, you don't get nervous. You relax and let them see you and release. Don't try to stare them. Let them see you. Let them in. You'll find out it's not that bad. That is communication at its fullest. Communication can go by your gestures. But if I would give somebody the main tip is that once you understand personality traits and you know what your core personality traits are, you'll then understand why you don't get along with some people because it's either values or it's a personality conflict. So now, once you understand your personality traits, you know what you're strong at. There's only four, okay? But all of us are hybrid and all of us are part of the four, but we may be anchored in one or two, and some people even three. But that fourth one, that's not the person you kind of gel with. So when you learn what your personality is, learn how to communicate and become what you are not. To communicate into their listening. And if you would do that, you will attract that audience on the subconscious level. Another thing that I do, I teach people. If you ever notice, I say a lot of poems and rhymes and stories because as little kids, we grew up with Now I Lay Me Down to Rockabye Baby on the Tree. The brain now is anchored into this 8-year old child or this 5-year old child that grew up with Mother Goose, Cat in the Hat, all these stories. And now when you hear a poem, your brain is seeking the next course of it. So it quiets your mind and it brings you back on a subconscious level. You don't even know what's happening. So if I would tell you one tip in doing it, number one, become a great listener. Outside of that, get training and invest in yourself because it'll help you get that promotion, it'll help you get that job, it'll help you get that raise, it'll help you get that account. It will help you be able to sell your programs and products on the stage. It'll help you fall in love with your spouse every single day. When you communicate, she can't help or he can't help, whatever the case may be, but to fall in love with you all over the day because you already got this thing wrapped because I'm talking to you.
Love that. So, how does someone get more connected with themselves? I know, especially with social media, so many people are scrolling and they're not figuring out who they are or what they want to become. So, how does someone ground themselves and get quiet and really realize their vision and their mission here?
Well, a lot of times people want to become influencers, or they are. So they're there because they're building influence and they've got a gift and people gravitate to them. So, okay, I get that, especially if they have a program or product to offer, not just ego. But there's
Mhm.
other people who are just trying to find their way and use it as an escape. And Facebook started this. There's a formula that they use to get people to behave in the way we behave. So we're not in control of our thinking. Trust me. This
Yeah.
has already been set up already. So once you understand that, become solution focused. Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. If you focus on how am I going to pay these bills, you are watering and highlighting and feeding the things that you don't want. Paul said it in the Bible, the things that I want are not what I do the things in which I hate. It makes no sense, but we do it. So we focus on the relationship's not going to work. Okay, and now it's not going to work. So focus on the solution. The problem is the problem. The challenge is a challenge. The solution is the key. And if you give your energy to trying to escape on social media, And so you can check out. Okay. It's better to check out with yourself and get in a quiet place and just relax in the daytime and look at the clouds go by and listen to the trees rustle. At nighttime, the moon, hear the birds, center yourself, see an ant crawl or a rabbit hop, and just chill. And when you do that, you can come back into yourself to get that point of clarity. Where you can start thinking differently, expressing differently, and chill out. Because the bottom line, and I'll tell you one secret for me. Once I learned the keys to for me on how to love, my life got so much easier because I learned I can love you for you and not for me. What does that mean? A lot of people, they love somebody until they don't get what they want or that person betrays the trust. I can love you across the street because you don't get the right to take away my peace. I'm gonna be peaceful anyway because I'm gonna love you because loving and being in love are two different things. In love is when you let somebody use your car who doesn't have a license.
Have you done that before?
You give somebody your credit card. They say they'll be back. Okay, or put your phone and they put their phone in your name. That's in love. Loving somebody, you express it. It's a point of expression to you, and that means it doesn't matter what they do. This is what I'm going to extend because when you think that way, you have clarity, you have peace, and then you become more inner directed and you're okay. Everything's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that was beautiful. A lot of people grow up, at least I did, with conditional love, right? You do this for me and I'll be happy. You get an A, you get first
Yeah.
place and get this trophy, then I'll love you, then I'll show you love. But you were
Yeah.
talking about unconditional love, which is it makes you just feel so at peace and it just makes you feel so in alignment.
If you choose not to like people, well, choose to like them regardless. That doesn't mean they have to be in your life. The energy that you pour out from you is so important. I was talking about the two babies in the mother's room. Remember that?
Yes.
All right, two girls. They have vibration, and vibration is communication. So one sister looks at the other, can't look right now, talks to the other, says, one day we're going to get out of here. And the sister says, wait a minute, what do you mean out of here? There's no out of here. There's only here. Say, yes, one day we'll be out of here and we'll have life. He said, what do you mean? This is life. There's no other life. Yes, and we'll be able to eat with our mouths. Silly, you eat through your tummy. You don't have to eat with your mouth. You can't even open up your mouth. Say, yes, it is. It is true. And one day when we get life, we're going to meet our mother. And the other baby says, mother, there's no such thing as mother. You ever seen mother? No, I haven't, but I can hear her when she talks. And when I close my eyes and listen intently, I can hear her heartbeat. Because when you're in that womb, you've never seen a mother. Your whole reference of what life is what life is. Just like a caterpillar has no reference to what it is to be a butterfly. You can't. And now we come out here in the reference we have now for the years that we are here, because there's a lot of people, we'll be gone a lot longer than we're going to be here. There's people who have been here and they've been gone for the last 1,000 years. So that's always going to be there. So it's just the moments that you have. But once you understand that communication is vibration, everything communicates, then you can loosen up a little bit and get more creative to create the life you want to live, no matter what the situation is. Viktor Frankl was in a Nazi camp. He wrote a book called The Meaning of Life, and everyone was killed in his village except for him. He had this positive attitude. They just didn't send him to the chamber. He wrote in this book, Samantha, two men both trapped behind prison bars. One man saw the mud, the other man saw the stars. No matter what's going on, what do you see? Can you dream a bigger dream when everything's stacked against you?
Yes, you definitely need to think big. You have to have a vision and surrounding yourself with people who are doing so much more than you and who think differently. That's really helped me elevate my life. And I know that you help so many people do that. Well, thank you for sharing those stories. They're always so captivating.
And if you can't find those people, then become the person. Read books, get lost. When you read a book, learn to read it with your senses, not just with your eyes and your brain. Read it with your senses. If you want to anchor some information, if I read a book, Samantha, if they're cooking, I see the steam coming from the pot. I can smell it. I can hear the fire crackle if it's outside and it's a wooden fire. I can hear the spoon hit the side of the pot. If you're walking, if Jesus drags a cross, I hear the cross dragging on the ground. I make the story real and give it life. And that's what Van Gogh meant when he said, I dreamed of my painting and I painted my dream. And your pursuit of that and being more attentive to detail and immersing yourself in that dream and feeding that dream and feeding that what you're reading and making it real for you, you'll anchor it in a place where you won't lose it and it can come back and serve you when you need. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I never had a bad day. The gentleman that really, before I was diagnosed, the gentleman that got me on a path, he had cancer. I didn't even know it. And I was at his facility for sarcoidosis. And he ended up passing away. But this wonderful man put me on a path, his entire family, that I was able to not only get past my cancer with natural remedies, and they wanted me on chemo right away or surgery. And I did none of that stuff. I'm cancer free 7 years now. But now I have a story to tell. So when people I meet have cancer, I can say, I'll pray for you, but I can say, now we can have a conversation. Let me tell you what I did, what I know. And I could not have done that if I didn't have that journey. So
Exactly.
there's no regrets. Everything that happens can bless the lives of so many other people.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I feel like you can only go as deep as you've been with yourself. So for you to go through all of those challenges, especially cancer, and overcome it, you're the guiding light for so many people, millions and millions of people who are diagnosed. So
Yeah.
congratulations on the 7 years. That is amazing.
Thank you. No
My
regret.
mother, yeah, my mother had cancer and she's a survivor. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not easy to go through.
When my mother passed about 6.5 years ago, I still talk to her every day. Every single day I talk to her. I know what she's gonna say, and I laugh. I still tell jokes. Just like I go to my grandmother's gravesite and tell jokes at her gravesite. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I love to laugh. But I talk to her every single day. So I don't have days where I miss her because I'm still locked in and I'm not stuck. It's just that this is what we do. I know what she's gonna say back because that is always she's I know. So I just embrace I was watching Oprah Winfrey about 20, 30 years ago. And there was this episode. This is when she had the afro and she would cry all the time. And there was a gentleman whose wife had cancer and they had videotaped with a camcorder, big old camcorder, her journey. And everybody was crying. They went to commercial. They came back and her eyes are red. And she said to the man, said, it had to have been so hard for you to go on without her. Do you miss her? And he said, Oprah, you don't understand. When she was alive, she had a job. I had a job. We spent about 25% of our time together. He said, now we spend 100% of our time together. 30 years ago, that prepared me for the losses I have in my life. And I just operate in gratitude.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I know that energy is not it's not created or destroyed. So her
Yeah.
energy is still with you every single day. I mean, I
Yeah.
talk to my grandmother all the time. I know she's with me unconditionally. They're
Yeah.
just not physically there, but they're energetically there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to go in the grave with her.
Exactly. Yeah, you have
That wouldn't be intelligent, but I'm thankful for her.
yes.
And I live there, thankful for it also. That's
Yes,
who I am.
gratitude is huge. Well, to wrap this up, we started doing a this or that challenge. So we have five this or that. You have to choose which one. So the first one is influence or income,
Influence,
coffee before speaking or meditation,
meditation.
$1 million idea or $1 million team.
Oh, $1 million team. Give me the billions.
Yes. Speaking to thousands or one on one transformation.
It's hard to answer that one because speaking 1,000, you seek that one-on-one transformation. Because when I speak to 1,000 people, the person all the way in the back, or 10,000, they feel like I was only talking to them.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, tough one.
And the last one is write a best-selling book or star in a docu-series.
Oh, I've done both.
I actually knew you were gonna say that. I know you are a best-selling author. I didn't know you did a docu-series though.
Well, I have a documentary of my own life that premiered in the Imagine Theater 4 years ago. They've got about four documentaries all with the start the same, but I'm in that documentary as well by Don and Melinda Boyer, who are incredible. They've done 23 documentaries and docuseries. So, and also we're creating some things right now because we have a TV network. So, how about you do all that?
Incredible. Yes. So for our audience, I'm sure they loved this episode. You're just filled with so much wisdom and knowledge. Where's the best place that they can find you or connect with you?
Well, I think the best way to do it, if you don't mind, I give them two things. They can give me an email, send an email, Google me first of all, but go to email JD at JD3media.com. JD at JD number 3media.com. The best way and easiest way, and if you don't mind, would you mind if I give somebody in your community a cruise for 5 days, 4 nights, and I'll give you an Alexa one too?
Oh my God, that would be
All
fabulous.
right, cool. All right,
Thank
you got
you.
it. So make sure you email me and I'll send you and Alexa what you need. If you text the word Limitless TV to 26786, Limitless TV to 26786. If you text that, we're going to raffle off anybody who listens to this and then text it. We're going to send you an email, I mean, a text message, and then you respond to it with this show, light up your life. Okay. And then we will put you in a raffle, just the people who look at your show to win 5 days, 4 nights, Caribbean cruise. You get to pick from four different cruise lines: Norwegian, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and another one. All you pay for is your port fees and taxes. It's for two people, and you have 2 years in which to use it. And if you don't use it in 2 years, call us up and we'll give you another one and give you another two, or give it away as a gift. And we do that all the time in our network. We gave away 300 last year. It was in resort trips.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, James. That's so sweet of you. I'm so excited our audience is going to love this episode. You're just so generous and you're changing millions of people's lives. You definitely changed mine. So, really appreciate you being on the show and couldn't be more grateful to have you on.
Well, thank you for having me. Give my best to Alexa and all she's going through right now at this moment. And continue to do great things. You all are touching lives. I'm so excited for you and for everyone who listens to you, because there's gems in everything you do and the people you bring forth that can impact lives. And that's what we're here to do. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And for everyone listening to this, we're sending you so much love and light.